What's up, YouTube? This is your boy John from the Jersey Shore, and I am back with you today to give you my review of Rob Zombie's 2009 film, Halloween 2. If you're already a subscriber to my channel, welcome back. It's good to see you guys again. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, click that subscribe button right now and get that out of the way. Halloween H2 was written and directed by Rob Zombie, starring Scout Taylor Compton, Tyler Mane, Malcolm McDowell, Brad Dourif, and Danielle Harris. Halloween H2 picks up right where Halloween 1 ended. It's got, you see Sheriff Brackett riding down the road in his squad car, and he sees Laurie walking down the street. He slowly pulls up behind her and gets out of his squad car, and when he approaches her, he realizes that she is basically in shock. She's covered in blood from head to toe. She's got broken bones. She is a complete and total mess.
I killed him. I killed him.
Who'd you kill, sweetie? Who'd you kill?
I killed him.
So he gets her in the squad car, he gets her to the hospital, and the next thing you see is they're wheeling her down the hallway. It appears that her teeth are broken, she's got broken fingernails, she's got broken bones, her leg is broken. This girl looks like she has been through an absolute war. Now we see her in surgery. They're cutting off her clothes. They're wetting her clothes down so that they can peel them away from the dried skin. They're setting the bones in her leg. It's pretty gruesome. Jump forward a little bit and you have Laurie waking up in her bed. She's got a splitting headache. It's nighttime. Everything is dark. She gets out of her bed and she wanders out into the hallway. She's looking for the nurse's station.
Hello? Is anybody here?
So now one of the nurses realizes that Laurie's walking around in the hallway. She runs up to her and Laurie basically is telling her, I need something for my head. My head's killing me. And this nurse is actually Octavia Spencer. She's trying to get Laurie back to her room. She's walking down the hallway with her, and there's a call comes out over the loudspeaker in the hospital. Well, the nurse, Octavia Spencer, very strangely hears this call and tells her, can you make it back to your room? I'll be there in a minute. Just go ahead. It seemed very strange to me that nurse would allow Laurie to walk back to her room by herself. She's strapped to an IV and she's got a boot on her foot. But whatever. So now Laurie is on her own. She's walking down the hallway. She actually turns back around and goes back towards the nursing station. And as she is approaching the nurse's station, she realizes that Octavia Spencer is now coming from behind the counter and she's bleeding from her mouth. Can't imagine what happened to her. Exactly. So enter Michael Myers. He attacked Octavia Spencer's character back behind that nurse's station, and now he's getting ready to get her again. He grabs a hold of her, he gets her down on the floor, and he brutally murders this character. He's stabbing her over and over multiple times. He's picking her up off the ground with one hand and stabbing her with the other hand. It is absolutely grisly what he does to her. So now the chase is on. Laurie's trying to get away from him. She's trying to get wherever she can to not be attacked by Michael. So she runs into a staircase. She's running down the stairs and she comes across the other nurse that you saw behind the nurse's station earlier. She's leaning up against the wall. She's actually strung up. Her eyes have been gouged out. This has also been a pretty grisly murder. So Laurie gets by her, she gets down to the bottom, and she gets out through a door. Once she's outside, it's pouring rain. So she finds this little outpost. She gets over to this thing. There's supposed to be a security guard in there, but there's nobody to be seen anywhere. She gets inside of this little office, and she is hiding under the desk. After a couple of minutes, the security officer shows back up. I believe his name was Buddy. This dude gets in there. He gets startled by Laurie. He sees she's under the desk. He gets her out, tells her, "You're with me. Everything's going to be fine." Gives her a cup of coffee and says, "Just sit tight. I'm going to go get my car and I'm going to get you out of here." So Buddy comes back with the car. He parks the car right in front of the post. And while he's trying to open the door, somebody comes up behind him and hits him with an axe. So that's the end of Buddy. Now Michael is completely tearing apart this little post. He's breaking out the windows. He's breaking through the walls. He's doing whatever he's got to do to get inside of this little post to get to Laurie. He gets inside of there, and just as he's about ready to grab her, she wakes up. So now we're back at Sheriff Brackett's house. That's where Laurie is living now. Michael killed Laurie's parents in the first movie, so now Laurie is staying with Annie and her father. Sheriff Brackett is portrayed by Brad Dourif. He returned from the first movie, and also returning from the first movie is Danielle Harris portraying Annie Brackett. So now you see all these three characters. They're together. Laurie's talking about she had another nightmare. Sheriff Brackett is saying, "I heard her again." So apparently they give you the impression that this is something that happens on a pretty regular basis. This house is a complete disaster. There's stuff spray painted all over the walls. Sheriff Brackett has a ponytail. It gives you a very strange impression of what goes on in this town. This certainly is not the Haddonfield that John Carpenter created. This is definitely Rob Zombie land. Soon we meet Dr. Loomis, who ain't so much of a doctor anymore. Now he's Arthur Loomis. He has written a book detailing his history and his dealings with Michael Myers. And Dr. Loomis has just become an extremely unlikable character at this point. I think Malcolm McDowell did a good enough job portraying Dr. Loomis in this movie. It's just the writing and the directing of this movie makes that character very, very unsavory at this point. And that's it. Quite honestly, I don't even want to talk about this movie anymore. I thought that this movie was an absolute train wreck. At the very beginning of the movie, there are scenes where Michael Myers he's picked up and he's put in the back of a van. The van crashes into a cow. He gets out of the van, cuts some dude's head off, and throws it on the ground. And that is when we first get introduced to Michael Myers seeing his dead mother dressed in white and a big-ass white horse. His dead mother and the white horse are soon accompanied by Michael Myers himself as a little boy, the little boy that was in the first movie. And actually, no, it's not even the little boy in the first movie. That character grew up too fast, and Rob Zombie didn't recast him to be in part 2. I gotta tell you, as soon as Laurie wakes up from the dream that she had, and where she was out in that outpost in the rain while Michael Myers was trying to get to her, the moment that she wakes up, this movie takes a fatal turn, in my opinion. The whole thing where Michael is seeing his mother and that horse, it made my blood boil. I thought it was absolutely terrible. The only thing that could possibly have been was Rob Zombie's way of shoehorning and forcing his wife into this movie. If there was one redeeming performance in this entire movie, or character, I should say, in this entire movie, it was Brad Dourif's portrayal of Sheriff Brackett. I thought he was great. He seemed sincere. I thought he did an outstanding job as this character. I mean, he even ruined Michael Myers in this movie. Michael Myers looks like nothing but a great big hobo. He looks like Zakk Wylde with a hoodie on, walking around out in a field. It's disturbing how terrible this movie was, in my opinion. And I love the Halloween franchise. I loved Rob Zombie's first Halloween. This movie was absolutely hot garbage. It was terrible. After you get through the first 15 to 20 minutes of this movie, the rest of the way, all you got to hang your hat on was Brad Dourif's performance, and then it is nothing but unnecessary vulgarity. Just absurd hobos walking around out in fields. Just foul mouth. Danielle Harris is foul mouth. She treats her father like crap. She treats Laurie like crap. Laurie is crazy. They go to this party that is the most unrealistic Halloween party you ever saw in your entire life. There's girls up on stage in the middle of town square with no shirt on, listening to some guy who, if I'm not mistaken, this guy was portrayed by another guy. One guy played two completely different characters in this movie, and the whole thing, I may be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. And if I am wrong about that, strike me down. This movie was just atrocious. I have no other good words to say about this movie other than it ended, it's over, and we don't have to worry about Rob Zombie ruining another Halloween movie. I have absolutely, positively no doubt that I'm going to get all kinds of negative comments underneath of this video for my opinion of this train wreck of a movie. But it is what it is. I'm going to give my honest opinion to these movies on this channel, and I thought that this movie was absolutely, positively terrible. I think that Rob Zombie's first couple movies were pretty decent. His first Halloween movie was very, very good. This movie was the beginning of the end for Rob Zombie's filmmaking career for me. I would never suggest that anybody watch this movie. I thought it was awful. I hadn't watched this movie in a pretty good amount of years until I watched it again for this review, and I forgot how bad that Sherry Moon Zombie dressed in white walking around with that goddamn horse pissed me off. This movie's atrocious. Do not watch Halloween 2. All right, folks, that is going to do it for my review of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I would love for you to go on this journey with me. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching. This movie was terrible.